It's episode 22 of Positive Reinforcement. Yeah, guys, I'm going to be on an interview panel in a couple of weeks. So is Mr. Bacon, and so is Mrs. Baird. And we had an idea. We're going to sing the questions to the candidates. All right? So questions like, we've gone one-to-one with our technology. How do you plan to implement tech in your class? Yeah, go! And see how they react to that. I think it would be I don't think it would be a nerve-wracking experience at all for the candidate. You know, I think it would be a good idea. So we're going to sing our questions. Being on an interview panel, seriously though, is very fun. You're deciding someone's future, literally. You are in possession of their ability to live their life. You hold the key to that possibility. And that's as close as you can get to being a king, in my opinion. So that's going to be fun. I've done it a couple times before, and it's just fun. So looking forward to that. Guys, I'm sorry about last week, but I'm here. Last week I was just feeling under the weather. I got like a miniature cold, but you know, sometimes you just got to push pause and bow out for a second. And that's what I did. And you know what though? The messages that I got like 5 or 6 messages from family, from friends, from coworkers. Is positive reinforcement done, or is it coming back? What's going on? And seeing the concern in these messages made me feel great because you care, you like it, and I'm going to keep doing it. Even people that aren't teachers are liking this. They like listening to the stories. They like hearing the experiences. And guys, that's what keeps me going, you know? So here we are for episode 22 of Positive Reinforcement. What's your teaching philosophy? So looking forward to that. But, you know, I got to say something that's been bothering me. I was going to talk about this last time, but got sick. Guys, I'm specifically talking to the prospective teachers out there, those who are about to become a teacher. There seems to be this new kind of attitude present in a lot of up-and-coming teachers with this whole, like, thinking they can say no to stuff kind of attitude. And I'm not feeling this, all right? Like, you want a job, you're going to do what you're told for a while until you get to where you want to get to. It's called paying dues, guys. I did it. I coached speech and debate for 6 years. Okay? Did I want to? Hell no. But I had a lot of fun with it. At the same time, wanted to kill myself. So you got to have something in your life that makes that. You got to have those obstacles, you know? You can't just go into something brand new being like, nah, I don't think I want to do that. Nah, I'm not feeling that. Nah, I'm going to be too overwhelmed if I step into this. No. You don't have the option, right? It's like training day for teachers. You got to do it because you got to earn whatever position that you envision yourself in the future. So if you are going to a school that you have heard good things about and you want to be part of the culture, then you just got to buckle down and coach baseball. You just got to be the cheerleading coach. You got to do speech and debate. Like, you got to do those things as long as it takes until you get tenure and until you have built up the credibility and the accolades to be able to say things like, you know what, no, I'm done with this. Or, you know what, I think I'm going to go a different direction. You can't just come out of the gate, not even a full permanent teacher yet, making these decisions. I'm sorry, that's just not how it works. It's just my opinion anyway, but, you know, I feel like there's been this weird transition where new teachers are just saying no to stuff. But, you know, so take that as a piece of advice. If you've got a job interview coming up, you know, we're in March, right? It's that time of year for teachers to be interviewing for different places. So please take that advice, and whatever you're told, like you're probably going to have to coach this or whatever, you just nod along and say, yes, sir, or yes, ma'am, and do it, because that's just how it is. And that's just not in teaching. That's all around. So say yes. It's the bottom line. Say yes. Guys, I'm on day 52 of my 90-day diet, and I have not felt this good physically since like 2015 or something like that. I'm drinking like 4 of these bad boys a day. I do not stop peeing. I could be peeing right now. You'll never know. But I feel amazing. I wake up energized. I go to bed. I fall asleep like that. Randomly, I would like a couple months ago, before I started the diet, I would just be sitting on the couch and I just feel like this feeling, just my body's rejecting whatever's going on inside of it. That doesn't happen anymore. I don't know what that was initially. Probably should get that checked out, but it's not happening anymore, thankfully. I'm down 10 pounds and I'm just feeling great. So discipline, man. My wife, I hate my wife. She does this thing where she's like, man, I'm really craving Del Taco right now. Would you mind going to get it for me? Like, I know you're on a diet, but, and she always says, like, you should get something for yourself. Like, you've earned it. She's trying to derail me, and I'm not letting her. I haven't had a cheat day since. I had a Starburst the other day that Mr. Bacon won't stop begrudging me about, but that was as much as I've fallen off the rails with that. But day 52 of 90, I should be wrapping it up in the middle of April or so. And it's not like, April 17th or whatever the 90 day is. It's not like April 18th I'm going to be eating pizzas all day. Like, I'm going to maintain this. I don't want to go back to Fat Justin. I want to stay where I am and where I get to. I want to maintain that. I want to come to Christmas time and still feel proud, I always do this, and then summer comes and goes, and then I'm right back where I was come Christmas. So we're not gonna let that happen again this time. So it is what it is. But yeah. We use Google products and software in our school. How do you plan on integrating Google in your lesson plans? So guys, my book is out. Orca's Eye Skylines is there. It's on Amazon. My phone is ringing, but also now my microphone is messing up. What is this? I got gremlins in my electronics or what? And we're back. Who was that? Huh? You're good. Yeah, who was that? I'm recording, but...
Miss Peterson?
Ah, crap. For the second time?
You got a missed call earlier.
Okay. If she calls again, I'll answer it. It's okay. It's all good. So anyway, my book is out, Orca's Eye Skylines. You can get it on Amazon now for $7.99. Thank you to everybody who has purchased it so far. I think I've sold about 14 copies, so that's really cool. Hopefully you're enjoying it and getting something out of it. And, feel free to write a review. It never hurts to do so. It sucked. I had to delete Copacetic, and I had like 4 really cool reviews on there, and, it sucks getting rid of that stuff. But it's called, okay, I'm going to answer it. All right, can we record this or what? What are we doing here, huh? We making a podcast or are we answering phones? So Orca's Eye Skylines is out now on Amazon.com for $7.99. You can buy it. Please do it. I put a lot of work into it, and check it out. Write a review if you'd like. So here we go. Guys, I got a super funny story for you. I got 2 funny stories for you. Guys, this podcast is going to be 2 hours long. I just want you to know that. But here's funny story number 1. Back in high school, I did something called CTV. I went to Central High School here in the Central Valley, and CTV was Central Television. It was like our bulletin that we did every morning, and I was an anchor on that. And we did this thing where there was like the main anchors, the sports anchors, and then it was like a school spirit section or something dumb. I don't remember, but I was the main anchor, and then there was a kid whose name was Daniel BOSWELL who did sports. And So every time it would cut to sports, for some reason, just one day I decided to introduce him by saying this. I'd be like, all right, and now it's time for sports with BOSWELL. And he absolutely hated this. And because he hated it, I would do it louder and longer every time. And when it would cut to him, he would visually be so pissed off, and I'm just busting up laughing because it was like a live transition. So I'm sitting there just watching him, super just finding everything funny, and he's just like, hey, stop it. So the soccer team won last night, and just every time I'd get more and more just, BOSWELL! And he got pretty pissed. And one day outside of the class, I had like my jacket over my shoulder or something, and he just ripped the jacket off my shoulder and threw the jacket on the roof of the classroom. And he's like, quit it, all right? I'm sick and tired of it. And walked away. And then we graduated, and about a month, 2 months after graduating, my friend Dan and I, drummer of A Dollar Underwater, we went to Little Caesars to get a pizza, and we saw that Daniel Boswell was working as a cashier for Little Caesars. And I seized the moment, guys. I walked in, and guess what I said when I first saw his face? Boswell! And he stood up, and he looked directly at me, and he was like, hey, quit it, all right? We're not in high school anymore. That's enough. And I could not contain the amount of laughter that came out of my face. It was one of the most glorious moments of all time. And Boswell, if you're listening, you know, I'm thinking back and I'm reflecting on this moment, and, you know, I see it. It could have been a form of bullying, sure. And there's one thing on my mind that I just want to make sure that you hear directly from me. And I say this with the utmost sincerity. And that thing that I want to say is, Boswell! Back to you! All right. Don't take yourself too seriously, guys. All right? Anyway, I'm probably peeking all over the place with all that screaming. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Sound editing's going to be fun for this one. All right. So that was funny story number one. Here's funny story number two. This happened the other week. Not going to say who this friend... he's an acquaintance, maybe, but I won't say his name just for the sake of it. But, you know, I always bring up the funny wavelength. You know, people are on it, people are off it. This guy's off of it. This guy is so far off of it that the wavelength, like, people who are near it, like the wavelength kind of looks like this. You know, they can see it like, that's where I want to be, you know. But the wavelength to this guy is just, it's a dot. It's like looking at Mars from Earth, you know, like there's the wavelength. It's impossible for me to get to it. That's this guy, right? The funny wavelength, he's never going to be on it. So the other day, I mean, he posts stuff on Facebook and Instagram constantly trying to be funny, and it's just the thread, the amount of likes, it's just like, just post a gif of a tumbleweed going by, you know? No one responds to it because, firstly, it's not funny, but it just doesn't make sense. Like, you know how some people will make a joke and it makes sense, it's just not funny. But these just don't make sense at all. It's like, what has happened in your mind to make you post this? So this is what he posted. It was a picture of a dinner table, and it had like a bunch of ketchup bottles and a bunch of mustard bottles just on the table. And that was it. I can't remember if there was a caption on it or something. There had to be a caption on it that he put. Or maybe there wasn't. I don't remember. Regardless if there was a caption or not, it just wasn't funny. And underneath, in the comments, some random girl, I don't know, she posted, why would you post this? What's funny or witty about this? Nothing. Stop posting stuff like this. Just straight up said that. And then he commented, it's just weird. There's a lot of ketchup and mustard on the table. And that was it. Like, I was so happy to see that he finally, after all of these years, just got shut down. And guys, he hasn't posted since. I hope he's still alive. But yeah, hasn't posted since. And, like sometimes you need to be called out, I think, maybe not as aggressively as her approach, although I applaud the approach, but I've wanted to do that for years. 4 years. But it finally happened. And that was my second funny story. So, all right. Okay, here's a big one. Officially going to announce this right here, right now. Got another creative project in the works. It's not a novel. It's not a story. It doesn't involve music. It's something completely new that I've never done before. And it's something that Mr. Bacon and I are working on. This was something that was an idea of his a little while ago. And he kind of put the idea in my ear. And at first I was like, yeah, but I don't think I'd be good at that. And I just kind of shut it down. But then I let it sink in a little bit more. And I decided, you know what? If we do our own version of it, it might actually be pretty good. So here it is. We are going to make a children's book. We're going to make a children's story, and it's going to have illustrations and text and all that, and we're super excited about it. We've got our character design already done. We've got the character name already done. We have the whole concept already done. We just got to sit down now and actually illustrate it, which is going to take the longest, and then actually just map out the story. But we're super excited for that. So it's kind of dark, kind of funny, but also very meaningful with a good message, Like there's a lot of cartoony things that are just weird for weird's sake, and there's no heart to it. This definitely has heart to it, along with all the weird stuff too. It's funny and just offbeat a little bit. I'm excited for it. So that's coming soon. I assume that's going to become, a summer project this year for sure. All right, so we're about 18 minutes in. I don't think I've talked about anything teacher related, but that's life, So let's go to our next topic here, which is very teacher related. So I've had the Shakespeare bust up here for a long time because we've been doing Caesar for the last, I think we're on like week 9 now or something like that. It's been a long unit with Caesar, but it's finally coming up to a close. And the other day we were talking about the last bank of study questions we had and talking about Caesar's death and et tu, Brute, and all this. Really just Act 3 is just so jam-packed full of great stuff. And it will never get old seeing my students just wholly invested in Julius Caesar. Like, I never thought 7 years ago that I would ever get students to be excited about it, care about it, want to know what happens next. Like, Lord of the Flies, yeah, but never with Julius Caesar. And guys, they were just enthralled and laughing at the funny stuff and getting upset with the dramatic, sad stuff. And that is one of the best feelings ever. And you know what? This is a big piece of advice that I don't think I've talked about on this podcast at all. And I want to make sure I get it out there. When you teach, like, okay, I love Batman, I love comic books, I love the Chargers. Like, these are the things that I get, like nerdy about, dorky about when I'm talking about it. It's like, oh, there goes Justin talking about Batman again. He's going on for 10, 15 minutes about it. Like, that attitude towards something that you're super passionate about, you gotta be that way with teaching too. Like, if you're not standing up there nerding out about Julius Caesar and getting excited about particular quotes and moments, if you're not up there nerding out about the curriculum, the kids are not going to care. Not nearly as much as you would hope them to. If you're up there and you're like distant from the material in any way, they're going to be 10 times more distant than you are. So you got to be up there just dorking out about Caesar, all right? Dork out about whatever it is that you teach, and you'll get the kids on board. The majority of them, I promise you, they will be. If you don't care, And if you're not passionate about the thing that you're doing, it's just not going to matter. And I've talked about being passionate before, but this is different, I feel. I feel like it's, like people that are really, really into sports, and they're like, so Jackson got drafted the other day. Can you believe that? He earned this much money and blah, 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 blah. You sound as nerdy as me when I'm like, guys, Robert Pattinson as Batman, this is going to be awesome. Did you see the new car? It looks like a muscle car. We've never seen Batman with a muscle car in a movie. Same exact thing. It's the same exact thing. Guys that are into sports think they might be not as dorky or whatever. It's the same. You sound exactly the same, trust me. And you got to have one of those kinds of just into itness. You know what I'm saying? You got to be just invested, and you got to love it. Otherwise, they're not going to care. That's the bottom line. You have to do that with teaching. You have to emanate that dorkiness. Otherwise, you're going to lose them, likely. The majority of them anyway. But that's that. Oh, man, guys, it is freezing cold in my classroom. And I am not going to complain because we all know what happened a few episodes ago. I would not shut my mouth about the heat, but here we are. And it's Arctic in here. And I love it. I love it because everyone's awake, when it's hot and when it's humid and it's sticky in here. People are falling asleep. People couldn't care less about Julius Caesar. But when it's freezing cold, at least they're alert, So I'll take that any day over the heater being on. And we're in that annoying part of the school year where it's hot, it's cold, it's warm. We're getting all the seasons back to back to back within the month of March, and it's annoying. But we'll get through it together. So tell us a little about yourself. Where'd you go to college? What's your major in? Let's see. The agenda is pretty much met at this point. There was something else I wanted to talk about, though, that I'm blanking out on right now. What the heck is it? It's leaving me. How are you doing? You okay? I can hear you. So go ahead and answer. Tell me about your day. Go ahead. Oh, no way. That's crazy. All right, my turn to talk now. So, going to Dennys tonight. Kind of a semi-cheating day. But I'm not. Usually I go to Dennys and I get the lumberjack slam. And I eat that whole thing. I don't think my body could even handle half of it now. But I love their turkey club sandwiches. Oh, so good. Can't wait. So that's happening tonight. It's March. How about we haven't really talked about movies much. We've got Quiet Place 2 comes out this month. I'm looking forward to that. And The Invisible Man has been out for a while. That's been getting a lot of good reviews. The actress from Handmaid's Tale, I can't remember her name right now, but she's great. She was really good in Us. So I really want to see that. Next Thursday? What's next Thursday? The 12th? Something like that? Mr. Bacon and I have this tradition called Dude's Day, and we haven't had a Dude's Day in a long time. So we're going to go to Sweet Tomatoes. We call it Sweetie Tom's. And we have restaurants that we go to depending on the season that we're in. So if we're in winter, which technically we are still in winter, it's Sweetie Tom's. If we're in spring, it's Broilers. If it's summer, what's summer? I don't remember whatever we want. We tried to do TGI Fridays once. That didn't work out. I can't remember I think the food was just garbage. So summer's kind of a free-for-all. We started off at Buffalo Wild Wings, and now both of us are just kind of like, nah, I'm cool not having diarrhea, so we don't go there anymore. Every time someone brings up Buffalo Wild Wings, just a little PTSD kicks in. So we avoid that place. Man, I was on fire for like 18 minutes. Now it feels like this podcast is just dragging right along. But we're here and you're with me right now. And that's what's most important. I can feel you. I can smell you. And I don't want you to ever leave because I'm going to have abandonment issues. And what am I even talking about? So another funny thing with this interview panel that we've tossed around doing, singing the questions, really funny, but we've also tossed around the idea of just having like a little bit of a weird face the entire time giving the questions. Like it can't be just an outright like face the whole time, otherwise it's just ridiculous. But if you just do a subtle little, just kind of like, I swear to, 1 second. Oh, you can see my head already. Damn it. I was going to come up and scare you. But hey, we're back from another phone conversation, guys. Hey, you know what? It's all good. The more thorough you are, the better, right? So Orca's Eye Skylines is out on Amazon.com for $7. I'm just kidding. All right, so 28 minutes in. Here's the last thing I want to say. Wherever you are in life currently, I hope you succeed. And I hope that you are making decisions based off of your needs and your goals, all right? It's always good to be there for your friends and family and those that you care about. But if you keep putting yourself in the back seat, life's going to speed right by and you're not going to get to where you want to get to. So whatever it is, keep that goal in mind, keep climbing, and if you're told that you have to coach water polo, then damn it, you're going to coach water polo, okay? Because you can't say no. Because who says no? Wimpy fools. All right, I'm done. 29 minutes in, that's enough. Have a great day, have a great weekend, and remember, if you use technology in your classroom, how do you plan on implementing it on a daily basis? On a daily basis. See you guys later. Have a good one.